Hi, this is Christopher Lewis, and welcome to Dating Intelligence, the podcast where we give relationship advice from dating to marriage and everything else in between. And always with the goal of helping you to continuously be the best you at all times.
So if you're looking for real, honest information to help you navigate your relationships, we've got you covered.
We've got you covered, and goddamn, girl, your boobs are showing today.
Woo,
look
at
today.
you,
Look hot.
dark man over there.
All right, guys, we're at Sticky Pasta, another episode for us today. And Jamie, I have to say it's been a while. I think we haven't been in studio, guys, for about a month, and it's just been a whirlwind. So I've missed you.
So much has happened.
Yeah, I've missed you a lot.
I had a new guy, got rid of him.
You've been to Italy. You've been running around too. How was that, by the way?
Traveling a lot, but I'm going to actually take a little break. So I canceled my next 2 trips just to kind of, be home.
Okay, good. That means I get to see your face more too, which is awesome.
Yeah. And then what about you? I heard you went to see Motley Crue.
Oh my God. So I went to the Motley Crue Def Leppard Stadium tour.
Yeah.
You guys, let me tell you this. So if anyone knows who I am, they know that I'm a big heavy metal, rock and roll. I love Motley Crue. It's my number 1 band. And then, there's a few in there, but Def Leppard probably takes number 2 or 3 spot up there. And then Poison and...
Poison.
Poison was amazing, by the way. I think they are actually the best one out of the whole night to me because they were fun. They were rocking. They got SoFi Stadium just going off that night. So that was a lot of fun. And then just kind of a lot more events. I did a couple more red carpet events during that time. It's been a month.
Without me?
Without you. And you would be
How did that go?
Okay, so you would be very, very proud and impressed. So, and our guest was at one of them that I saw, by the way, too. So I literally went to all these events this one day by myself. And I stayed for no more than maybe 15 minutes at each event that I went to.
Okay.
And I went by myself. Did I tell you about that? Was the main thing. I went by myself.
Wow.
I mustered up the energy and the confidence that, you know what? I'm going by myself. I don't need anyone to go with me because I didn't have anyone to go with me. Everybody was busy. And so, but I went though. And I showed up to everything, walked the red carpet on all these events, and that was that. So it's pretty good. I thought you'd be very proud.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like doing shit by myself.
but you do it all the time though. You do it all the time.
I do show up by myself a lot of times. Sometimes I wish I had a plus one, but it's okay. I'm just in and out and it's work and yeah.
All right. Okay. So Italy was great though, right, as well? Your little travels?
Yeah, well, we can get into that another time. I'm still recovering from my trip, a little bit of jet lag.
She's still shell-shocked from I'm just hearing about the man as well. So
yeah.
Got to get in that as well eventually.
That's okay.
All right.
That's all right.
Well, sorry for him. Sorry, guys. It's your loss, by the way. Your loss once again.
Move them in and out. That's what we do.
All right, guys. So we are going to get into our guest today. So today's guest is an actor and a music artist who was on 4 seasons of the hit show, the series The Chi. With her stunning good looks and her go-for-the-throat rap lyrics under the artist name Jazzy, this transsexual beauty knows exactly who she is and what she stands for. Please welcome Jasmine Davis to the show. What's up, gorgeous?
Hi.
Hello.
You are looking fabulous. I'm looking at those glasses.
Friend.
I'm I want a pair of those Elton John things that you got on right now.
Yes.
Okay, I have to hop right in.
Go ahead.
Does it bother you when you get labeled a transsexual? Did you have to add that in? Do you like it or do you not like it?
We discussed it
Yes.
earlier
Oh,
that
okay.
I told him to add it in so people know at first.
Because no one would know.
Yeah, so
do you
that's
feel?
so that's why I like to add it in at first when I'm doing an interview like this, but I don't like to be labeled. But Chris is
As
my
well
friend.
as you should not be
okay.
labeled
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're gorgeous, you're amazing, and I
Thank
know you
you.
personally, and I'm just I tell her she's like a ride or die to me. This girl here.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so cool.
Thank you.
I know you guys have a relationship, so I'm not trying to throw you under the
Oh
bus.
no,
or
I wasn't
anything.
throwing to me.
But
That was a
just
good
wondering
question,
That
for
was a great
you,
question.
because me having first met you, I would have never in a million years ever
Thank you.
guessed.
By the way,
So-
you're so fucking gorgeous. You are, and your
Aw,
energy
thank
is
you.
amazing. But thank you. But that's such a good question because I struggle with that in this industry sometimes. People want to label you, want to put you in this box, and I'm like, no, it's like a no-go for me. I'm no one's
Yeah.
puppet. I don't want to wave a flag for anyone.
Right.
And it goes across the board for all things,
Yeah.
even our age. It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
always say it's the energy that shows up to the room.
I
So
agree.
Yeah,
none
that's
of the
true.
labels really matter. It's
Yeah.
I love how you say that, by the
race,
way.
age,
Yes.
all that.
And speaking of, that's one of the things I used to tell a lot of media outlets. Don't say she's a trans actress. I'm an actress. I came in this industry just as an actress before they even knew.
Right.
And I'm like, it was just like they used to say black actress or black actor. It's like, no, this isn't like you said. It's not a race. It's just an actor, you
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've never heard him say white. This
Well,
white
no,
actress.
exactly.
And why would they, Jamie Vilmer? Why would
You know what
they?
I mean? Or
It's
like
funny,
this,
back in my modeling
this
days.
Hispanic actress.
Back in my modeling days, we used to call different cities, going, "Hey, like it's my time to come." They go, "Yeah, you know what? There's like, I'm the token black guy, so it's like I'm like, that's fine with me as long as I know I'm the only one there because I know I'm going to get all the jobs." So I was okay with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, were you really
Oh, yeah,
one
I
of the
was.
only ones?
No, because like once again, they only brought in certain people at a certain time. Now it's changed a lot too. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who you use, but back then it's like every agency would literally have like, okay, well we have hit this one in town, we have this one down. And if it's oversaturated, that they're not going to be putting out like every single black guy for the same job. In theory, they want every black guy to at least or black woman to get some work. Anyone of ethnicity at that time.
Yeah.
You want to be one. I wanted to be one of the only ones in town because at least and cycle it out. Okay, well it's like Jason Olive was just down or blah 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 was just down.
Yeah.
Tyson Beckford was just down. Like great, I'll take all their spots. I'll jump in and do it. So that's what it was like.
Yeah.
I'll take that any day. So I'm sure it was like that in acting for you as well.
It was like that at first, yeah. It was like
but it's
that.
changed a lot now because now everything's so
I'm
multicultural
and I'm
diversity.
so grateful that it changed.
Thank God.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah, I was listening to something on the other day which I didn't know. It's this show called it's like it's Reservation Dogs. So and every time I look at the sign, I always think of Reservoir Dogs, the movie. But Reservation Dogs, apparently on NPR, they said the other day that it's up for some awards or something, and it's the
Really?
first show that is actually done, and they called it Indigenous people, not Indians, obviously, or whatever. Like they called it's the first all Indigenous writers, producers, and director that do the show.
So they're all Indian?
That's correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Which I thought was pretty amazing. So, but everything is now changing now. And,
Yeah.
I think it's great that they actually are like people can actually just let a show come out and just have this whole, whatever, like culture just to produce whatever it is. You don't need to be splitting it up or making like, well, we need this person to be on there just for this reason at all. It's like, no, this is
Yeah.
our show. And if you don't want it, then
Yeah.
you don't take it. And it's doing amazing, by the way. So
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
agree.
I'm off my
I
soapbox
like
on
it.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jasmine, with
Yeah.
you now. All right. So we're going to delve into you now. So let everyone know where you're originally from.
I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois.
That's a great
Yeah,
city, by the
Chi-town.
way. Yes, it is. Yeah. And born and raised there, is that right?
I was.
Okay. All right. So let's start with you on talking about before you got into your acting, and growing up wise and all this stuff, since we are going to delve into, and by the way, people, we're going to get into our episode topic and we'll get into that a little bit, but just getting you a little bit more. From at a very young age, how did you feel like you now as who you are?
Yeah.
When did that start for you, and when did you know, hey, this is who I am, this is how I feel, and that and run with that?
For me, it was very early on, because there was no influence like on TV now. Like it's a lot of influence people can look at. I had no one to look at, like no one in my family or anything. I just knew it was something very different about me. And it's so funny, me and my mom have a joke now because when I was in her belly, her womb, the doctor told her like she was going to have a girl. So, she had all these girl clothes.
Oh, so
Great.
she had completely prepared to
Yeah,
have a girl.
and our inside joke is like, well, they didn't lie in the future.
Like they knew.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like everyone, I feel like everyone in my family told me that they knew it was something different. And it's funny, my dad, when I was like 12 years old, and it shocked me because he asked me when I get older, was I'm going to have a sex change. He didn't ask me, was I gay? He didn't ask me. He just said, because he has a gay brother.
Okay.
Oh.
So he knew, he said it was just something different about you. And he's like, I was doing some research and I was 12 and I was so nervous because I thought like no one knew, but into my own knowing, everyone knew it was something different about me.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as your parents go, first of all, I commend your parents, first of all, for always having your back and supporting you
Yeah.
and just being
Are
such-
they, or are you close with them?
I'm not as close with my dad. As far as me, myself personally, we've always been close, but they have their own issues.
Gotcha.
Like regular family issues. I actually can say I'm so blessed. I never dealt with we don't accept you. I have my own dysfunctional with my own family. It was a regular dysfunctional family. So when
Oh, you mean a normal family?
a normal
Normal, yeah.
family. And it was mostly, it's so funny, you will think that I had all the dysfunction. The dysfunction came from everyone else around me. And I'm like, how am I the normal?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we talk. It's just I set boundaries with everyone now. It's like it was a lot of, my dad dealt with substance abuse problems. So our relationship was very estranged because it was hard for me to constantly let him back in.
Yeah.
And then he'd go back on drugs. And then one day he called me on my birthday. He was going to jail for something. I was like, you know what, dude, we're done.
Right.
So he slowly tries to come back, but he knows now that why I'm like, it's hard for me to let you back in.
Right.
And me and my mom just had a regular, me becoming a teenager, we were like at each other's throat. And my grandmother used to always say, like, that's because y'all are just alike. But my mom is my ride or die. I fucking
Right.
love
You've
my
always
mom.
said that too.
Yeah, we have a great relationship, and she takes no shit off no one. No one can say anything bad about me.
I love that.
Like with my grandmother, like I was truly blessed growing up.
Yeah.
Siblings? Do you have siblings?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we all got along. My brothers are were a little homophobic. They used to say things like, we're glad that you are a trans sister versus a homosexual brother. And I used to tell them, like, sometimes I had homosexual friends, like, you can't say that because
Yeah.
they get offended. I'm like, but they understood though. But yeah, I had a great relationship with them and still do. Any dysfunction that I see is like on their behalf. But for the most of them, like, great. I love them.
So
That's
two
great.
brothers.
I have 3 brothers.
Oh, 3 brothers.
And 1 sister.
Okay.
Yeah, and me and her we're very close now.
I met your sister.
Yeah.
You
that's great.
did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At her birthday.
That's my little road dog. She thinks she's the big sister. And I have to remind, because she's like a little overprotective now. I have to remind her that I am still your big sister. I still have to watch over you.
Oh, that's great. See,
I
it starts.
love it.
First and foremost, it starts with the family. You know, no
Yeah.
matter how dysfunctional you guys are, they had your back at all given times,
Yeah.
which makes life a little bit easier. I know you have your own roadblocks and things that you still have to go through on your own journey, but once you have a core with your family standing behind you, it does make things a little bit easier for you.
It does.
So-
I actually tell people, like, I had a great childhood. I feel sorry for a lot of these kids
Yeah.
these days. Like, I remember we had so much fun, like going to the beach, the things we used to do, bike ride. We were outside. We had so much fun as kids. When I look at these kids now, they're on their phone, like
Yeah.
their
I
relationship.
agree.
Times.
It's so different. I'm like, and then the school, what they're teaching these kids in schools, I'm like, I'm just so glad I came into my own myself.
Mm-hmm.
No one tried to groom me to be me. I just happened to naturally came into myself. I had no one on TV to watch. So I know for sure this was my decision, and my parents, it was nothing like, oh, we want you to be like this. It was like a don't ask, don't tell situation until I got older. So I'm like, I'm so blessed the way I grew up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you had that inside of you as it was already anyways, for you to make life decision choices at a very young age. And like we said, a lot of people are confused whether knowing like you're straight or gay or whatever it may
Yeah.
be, if I'm going right or if I'm going left.
And the
or,
media and people
know.
don't make it easier.
Right. It could do dealing with religion. There's so many different ways to go with all of this stuff. So it all combines in the similarities on just choosing your own path.
Yeah.
That's just what it really is.
I
It's like
agree.
if like you're saying like, I know one of your daughters is, like you were saying last night, whether the religion it is, whatever it is, she's like, everyone's different.
Right.
You choose your path and you just love that person for who they are.
Yeah.
Can't conform them, whatever. Just let them choose what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I teach my kids as well. It's like I say, look, I'm always here for you, and I will always be an advocate for whatever you want to do. The same with my mom. One thing I love about my mom is she was always an advocate for whatever I did. She goes, I just want you just to be a good
Yes.
person. That's
Yeah.
all I care about.
And
That's what I always
really
say.
matters. Just be a good person.
Good person, yeah.
Right.
Serve others, live an honest life,
Yeah.
have integrity.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
yeah, my girls.
basic formula
I feel
for
like,
life.
Yeah, I feel like as parents, it's kind of our job to educate
Yeah.
and then support the path they choose.
Exactly.
So, like,
yeah,
even
not
with
brainwash. I totally agree
Yeah.
with that.
Like, you don't pick, like, I'm not going to pick your religion and tell you that it's going to be my way and you're going to be a Catholic.
Right.
Like,
right.
what the fuck?
But I feel like you can introduce them to that
I
stuff,
introduced,
as well.
so I did
Like,
take my kids to church, but I exposed them to a bunch of different religions, and
As
I'm
you
like,
should, yeah.
I don't care what you choose, like,
Yeah.
just be a good person and
Don't
be
fuck up.
mindful of others.
Yeah.
Don't
Love
fuck it up.
Yeah.
What did mom used to say? She goes, as long as you're in 30, as long as you are not in jail before 30, you've done something right.
Right.
Yeah.
She goes, I've done something right. Thank God, Mom. Thank you for that. So I've done something right. All right. So how did you fall into like the singing? Let's start with your acting first,
Okay.
though. When did that start for you? How young were you when that started for you? When you got the acting buzz?
I would say when I was in grade school.
She's still young.
I know she's super young.
I
It's
love
just
her.
Okay, when you were a wee little child.
But yeah, when I was in grade school, they used to have these plays, and I hated school. I was just not one of those, academic type of. I was more creative, so I was the first person to raise their hand when it came to like any plays or anything, and I loved it. I loved being on stage, and I always knew I wanted to like become an actor. I'll be in class, like especially history class, like what am I doing in here?
Yeah.
And I'm writing stories. I'm supposed to be listening to the teacher, but I'm making up stories in my head. Like one day
I was writing love notes.
Right. So
to the boys.
Right.
Yeah, like, hey.
You're right.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's like, we entertain ourselves in
Right.
school. So that's when I really figured out that's when I wanted to be an actor. And I remember doing this poetry contest. And I came in second place reciting my Angelou poem, I'll Rise. And that was it. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I really want to do this. I just didn't know how.
Right.
So the older I got, the more I started like trying to look into it. And then I started writing songs when I was like 12.
That's great.
I'll be at my mom's table, like writing songs, tunes in my head, not knowing that was, to me, it wasn't normal. So I was scared to share it with people. Because I'm like, I don't know where these tunes come from and how I'm just writing this. And then now that I'm older and I had to get on a show for me to actually pursue it, I'm like, wow, I actually have somewhat of a talent. I actually can write songs, and but yeah, that's where it came from.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
And then opportunities started happening for you when, by the way?
I would say when I first started doing little modeling gigs in Chicago, I was signed from like a small boutique modeling agency called Bella. And mostly their girls was Brazilian. I was like the only American girl.
Okay.
Because, of the butts and stuff like that.
Right.
And I got introduced to the Playboy world, which I want to do one day.
I love that.
I remember going to the first Playboy party sponsored by Mr. Skin, if y'all know
I don't know who that is.
So Mrs. Teller, go ahead.
So Mr. Skin
Is this
has
in
this
the Hefner
website.
day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I met him. He was so nice.
So did I.
Yeah, right. So Mr. Skin has this website with a lot of celebrities and people with skin.
Right. Tries to find the nude, like a nude of everyone.
And he does. He does.
And movies or whatever.
Everything.
Oh,
he does
okay.
a great job.
Yeah.
So I got hired for that, and basically we were all nude and body painted, and we would just pass out drinks and stuff like that.
Great.
And it was at the Playboy Mansion in Chicago.
Okay.
So started doing that, and then I was like, I want to move to LA, and I was engaged my second time by then.
Yeah. We'll get into that as well, by the way.
Honey. So moved to LA, broke off the engagement for good reasons. He was a little controlling. And then started doing the Playboy parties out there, getting hired to do that, where I met Health. I did their TV show twice, which I loved it. And I just wasn't comfortable yet, like to do the Playboy, because I'm like, okay, I may be outed, because I was still nervous back then. And then I got an agent and a manager and started like doing like D movies and C movies. And I remember playing a stripper and started getting cast in commercials. And this before anyone knew anything about me. And then up until 2018, I finally told my agents and my new agent and manager, because I was afraid that I knew someone was going to end up out of me. And I don't want the LGBT gang, because I call it a gang, coming at me, So once I revealed myself to them, all these LGBT roles came in, and I stopped seeing my other roles. I'm like, wait a minute, but I was recently doing commercials and stuff for this. I'm like, whatever, let me just see what happens. And I was dating this guy at the time in 2018 who passed away. His name was Matt. He was the second guy that I dated that passed away from drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's hence why I have a thing when it comes to me and drugs and being around people. And I had an audition for Supergirl, and I was this close to getting, it was like the producer session. If you know how it is, you have an audition, then a call back, and then maybe another call back, and then you have a producer session, and it's you and maybe 2 or 3 other girls. And I remember him telling me, like, I think it's time, babe. You should just do it, and whatever happens, I got your back. And a few months later, he passed away. Then I find out I didn't get the role, but then I end up getting LA Finance, which was the first trans role that I had.
Okay.
And still, the world didn't crash down on me then, thank God.
Right.
Because people were calling me like, "Why do you do this role?" Or "Why they have other trans out here?" Like the community didn't come at you, because a lot of people still didn't know that. And I kind of played it off. And then Never Have I Ever in 2019, I auditioned for them. It was just a secretary, a snooty secretary. I'm like, great. And I did the first season, and it was like a 2-part role. So I filmed the first one, and then The Shy apparently still was looking for someone to fill that role.
Okay.
And they couldn't find anyone. So my agent sent it to me, and they was like, "We have a role for you. It's trans, but please read it before you deny it." I was like, okay, let me look what the hell this is. And I read it, and I was like, oh my God, okay. The first season, when I read it, I was like, wow, they're not really focusing on her gender. They're really focusing on the relationship. And that's, as an actor, that's what I came to act for. So, create a world, focus on relationships, tell a story. And it was beautiful. And I was like, you know what? I prayed about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I did an audition, sent it in, and got a call back the next day.
That's great.
Went in, did that audition, did the producer session with Carmen Cuba, which I love. She was so sweet to me, the casting director. And the next thing I know, like 3 days later, I was planning on a trip, because I think I just came back from Europe. I think it was the time, because I went to London. I skipped Amsterdam. I went to Paris first. Skipped Amsterdam.
As well as you should.
Well, I wanted to
right. You went through.
I wanted to party, but I fell in love with Paris, and I met this cute guy in Paris, and he took me shopping and stuff. It was such a romantic thing. And then I went to London, because I had to fly out of London, and then I found out like The Shy or whatever wanted my bio.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a week after that. I'm like, what am I bio? I'm like, what does this mean? And then my mom was like, I think you got the role, dummy. I was like, I got to write a bio. And I was just getting back, because I was only in Europe for a week. I wanted to stay longer.
Yeah.
But something kept telling me to come back. So I was like, okay. So my manager at the time, we put together and wrote a bio. And the next thing I know, they're editing my bio, and they're like, we need your picture. What size are you? I'm getting called by people for fitting people. I'm like, can someone explain to me, like, what's happening? They're like, yeah, you got to fly out the next day. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't even tell my agents I was already in Europe. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm about to fly. I just got back. So, I had my little dog at the time, Zach. So I'm like, my whole world is about to change. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's going way too fast,
right.
So I flew out in 3 days to The Shy, and that's when everything happened.
And there's the whirlwind right there. And that was for 4 seasons, right?
3 seasons.
3 seasons,
yeah.
okay. All right, great. And then the ending of this happened because why?
Well, I shot during the whole pandemic, and everyone knew my stance on the vaccines or whatever. My thing is, I grew up with a very spiritual family. Some of them was religion, but we all took on the ancestors. Our ancestors lived through the world for millennials without vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they were doing something right. And then, all the stories of, autisms and things like that, where vaccines had possibly, triggered or affected people. And for me, it was always a no. Mm-hmm. My mom stopped vaccinating us when we were like 10 years old. So I remember on set, and it was like during the pandemic, they were first trying to get you to get it, free donuts and all this BS crap or whatever. And I was very vocal, like it's always going to be a no for me. No one's going to tell me what I can do with my body. If I allowed people to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body, I wouldn't be the woman I am now.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So when it came down to it, I already had word what was going down in September. So I took everything off my Instagram that had to do with The Shy. They didn't even know I had word. I had a little birdie telling me what was about to go down. And I'm like, I wanted to be a series regular, because I felt like they were already pimping me out as their LGBT puppet. And I'm like, no way, shape, form. I did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
So I already heard, I already kind of prepared myself that I was going to leave. So when I got the contract in December, they called me before Christmas. Mind you, I was one of the fan favorites. I heard camera guys and people were getting their deals way before me.
Okay, wow.
So I already
The
felt
camera guys too. That's like the last part of the
Yeah.
scenario right there.
and grips. I felt already disrespected. But again, the little birdie already told me in September I can never reveal who they were, but they kept warning me. And for some reason I was not listening to them. I wanted to believe that the show actually respected me.
Yeah.
Right. And your stance and your belief.
Yes, I really did want to believe that, because we want to believe what we want to believe, and then the universe hit you on the head and said, no, it's time for you to wake up, own your power. It's time for you to step into who you really are. So when they presented me the contract, they only wanted me to do 5 episodes after I was doing 8. Only wanted to pay me, I think, $10,000 an episode. I'm like, wait a minute. I live in
lowered that as
LA.
well.
That's
Yeah.
not even, I can't pay I make more money in my healing business.
Jasmine's like, have you seen me? I need more than
Seriously.
that.
I'm like, I traveled the world. Before I was on the show, I've been doing things way before. I made more money before I was even on the show. So why? And then they were telling me, like, you had to get vaccinated. I'm like, why would I get vaccinated to do a show I've already done during the pandemic, and a vaccine does not keep you from getting it? And I'm like...
And everyone else is fucking vaccinated.
Wait a minute. Everyone, when we were doing the pandemic, the people who were getting the production shut down from getting COVID were some of the people who were vaccinated. I never contracted it, and I never tested positive. So Molly, this lady from HR from Disney, had it out for me. That was a whole
Fuck
story.
you, Molly.
Yeah, fuck you, Molly.
Go do some Molly.
Yeah. So I had complaints with them when I was filming, and I have recordings when they were trying to say I never complained. So when December came, like I said, I was already prepared to leave because I already knew they were on BS. So one of my team members told me that, you have to get vaccinated. I said, well, can I get a health exemption? Because they already know my stance. Well, they said it's a SAG rule that 2 people who's going to do whose love interest can't have a health exemption. I said, wait a minute. So you gave my scene partner, my love interest in the show, exemption, but you won't give me one. So I'm like, and this was my exact words. I said, so you niggas are picking and choosing who can get exemption and not. I said, so wait a minute.
Right.
So I'm like, y'all on BS from the start. And already someone else from Disney, from 911, was on a Disney production. And I'm not saying everyone from Disney is evil. I'm pretty sure there's some really good people. But when I heard his story too, how they laughed at his religion exemption,
right.
but they let other people. So I'm like, okay, first of all, knew this was BS. I feel like it's your body, your choice. If you want to get something in you, get it, do it. But
Right.
just don't force other people who have been through this whole thing
Right.
already to get something that they've done their own research, and they've heard so many stories that they were not allowed to come out with the effect. I'm not about to play Russian roulette with my body already. I take hormones. I can't afford to put some foreign substance that y'all haven't done a ton of research on. For whatever reason, you want to force people to get this.
Right.
And they were like, no, well, we can't do it. That was a SAG rule. Later, I found out SAG didn't say that. So it was a lot of people, even on my team, lying to me. And I felt like so alone. I felt so betrayed that these people were trying to force me to do something against my will. But you were allowing other people to get exemption. But that was throughout everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like pick and choosing who can do what. And
I get that.
again, on the set, when I wasn't there, because a little birdie told me, they were still getting shut down. Everyone's supposed to have been vaccinated, and the people who have health exemption, and they still were contracting it. So make it make sense for
Right.
me.
Right.
So that's why I left. Some people, and then I told them I was going to tell the fans why I left. So that was in December. So they were going around after I told the fans I was going to come out in May. Yeah, I think it was in May why I left. So they tried to beat me to the punch and said that.
Spin their own story before you.
Yeah.
Got
So
out
if you
there.
look on Google, it was stories saying that the reason why Jasmine left because there was an investigation of her having a fake vax card. I damn well did have a fake vax card, but it wasn't for that. You know, y'all are lying, so I'm gonna beat you at your own scam.
Right.
So, A, there was never, how can you investigate me? Who are you, the authority? B, I had already emails of you guys after December saying that you may want to pitch me for an Emmy. And I also had emails from Lena Waves, which was one of the producers, the writer, the creator on the show, asking, would I like to be on another one of her shows? Because she knew I was pissed about the BS. Because they were so afraid that I was going to come out and tell the fans the truth. Would I want to be on another one of her shows? I want to listen to your music because she apparently was about to start a music thing. I had interviews from Showtime again telling me like, we surely want to pitch you for this Emmy. So all these emails I have, what lie can you say about me? Like, no one in this industry can say I've done anything to people. I don't go around bad mouthing people.
Right.
I haven't blackmailing people. This production itself had so much toxic energy before I even came. 3 actors left before I came. So I'm like, the production itself had a bad reputation.
Yeah.
I don't. So you're trying to like dig my name in a grave. You mess with the wrong girl. I have receipts. And then they were saying that there was no complaint for me when I said I was complaining from HR about me I felt I was getting tortured because they kept me like a prisoner during the pandemic. I was constantly getting tested.
Yeah.
Some people who were vaccinated told me they were not getting tested sometimes. They were threatening my job if I wanted to go back to LA, if I wasn't filming for like 2 weeks at a time. They were letting other actors, and I have receipts on that, fly back and forth, even on vacation, even having their family coming in. But I myself, fuck you, Molly, was getting threatened.
Fuck you, Molly.
Fuck you, Molly.
From HR, I would lose my job. And I remember one of my team members telling me that, you can lose your SAG card, which I'm trying to fire her now because it was all a lie. But Showtime, I actually can say this about Showtime. Shout out to Showtime for this. I can say this about Showtime. They always told me, Jasmine, I don't know what they were trying to say, but I think they were trying to clear their name. We never had a problem with you traveling or doing anything. So it made me think, who was the problem? Because it's produced by Disney.
Yeah.
Well, they're just a network.
Let's just be honest with this whole thing that you're talking about right now, so everyone gets a better understanding. It's that, which we all can probably sum this up pretty quickly, is the fact that there's always a bigger picture to every little piece of the cog to the wheel. And so, quite frankly, like, everyone is trying to save their own asses and their own skin. So no matter what you hear, no matter, like, in all of our lives, we always hear one thing and then something else completely happens different, like a complete 180.
Yeah.
It's because they're trying to save their own ass. So it's like, no one wants to be standing up for everyone, and unfortunately some of the people.
Do.
No, I understand. I was going to say, unfortunately, not everyone. By saying that, unfortunately, like, there's not enough people. Like, there might be one that, like, Showtime, even though they might be saving their ass, yes or no.
But yeah,
at least they went in front and said, hey, this is how we feel. Where the others are like, hey, we want you for this and we want you for that. But then all of a sudden it's like someone above them saying she cannot, da-da-da. So they start making up excuses. No one wants to be that one person to take the stand and be like, I stand behind her. And because it takes a while to do that.
Which makes me really sad because you fucking deserve that.
Thank you.
And it sucks to be in a space and feel that no one has your back.
Oh, no one. I cried so many times.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like when I was dealing with them, because I felt the torture coming on. I felt like because I wasn't vaccinated, I was being tortured because it wasn't mandated then. So it was a mental. I had a mental breakdown in 2020, leading up to 2021, because I had to be on Instagram and do these interviews like everything was okay. But inside I was fucking screaming. I was dealing with these people. I felt like no one had my back. And I was dealing with a lot of backstabbing stuff. And it was just like, on top of everything, I was getting bullied online because when people found out about me being trans, I was getting threatened for 6 months. And the only thing people were concerned about, make sure you smile on camera. We can tell when you're not happy, because I'm fucking not happy.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm dealing with a lot. The world shut down. I came out. I'm on a toxic TV show. How can one person deal with this? Luckily, I'm so strong enough
Well, I
that
was
I
going
can
to say
deal
there's
with
one
it.
thing about your character that, because I've met
Yeah.
you almost like about since January, February, probably
Yeah.
around that time. One thing that I've seen and known about you is that you have a strong constitution and a very strong character, and you will always come out on top, no matter what
Thank
you have
you.
going on
Yeah.
inside of you. It never shows, by the way, and like because you to me are just like this ball of happiness and
I love
energy
it,
when I'm
Lori.
around you. I love you for that reason, and it's like,
Yeah.
and so whatever's going on inside, you never show it, and I commend you for that because it's not easy to do that, and it's just
Yeah.
like having all that weight on you and still being able to just be like this person. It's like it's incredible. So I
I'm
I
grateful.
commend you for that. Yeah.
Long story short, I gotta say, throughout the whole experience, I'm grateful that I learned it now
Good.
versus later.
And you know now you know what to expect and how to pick up the signs a little bit quicker now as
Yeah,
well. You know, it's like
totally.
you want to be able to trust a lot of people out in this world, which we all do at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But first thing first, what's the saying is like you always have to like take care of yourself first, and
Yeah.
everyone else take care of yourself first, and everything else around you. Hopefully, they are who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
but when you're in the midst of it, it's so hard to do.
Well, especially with business like that, because that's big business. That's almost like politics and theory.
Oh,
it's
it's totally,
big business,
it's totally
you know?
a lot, and that's another thing. A lot of entertainment world turned into politics,
Yeah.
which I'm like, I had no interest in being into. But yeah, long story short, so when the fans see this, I did not get fired. I left.
Okay, yeah, well, no, and
Yeah.
we know that you left. So you hear that, people? Fuck you, Molly.
Yeah,
Yes.
fuck you, Molly. Do you feel like because you're still not vaccinated that it's affected you getting jobs moving
Oh,
forward?
totally. The mandates were still in the industry. They were still mandated people. I think they're trying to loosen up now because of the CDC. But every job kept saying you have to be vaxxed and boosted. I'm like, it stopped me from getting so many jobs
Right.
because of it.
And
I didn't go to a majority of the award shows the last couple of years
Same.
because I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to get the
Right.
vaccination. So
Right, but the good news is, like I said, I have no stance on either side because I am
Right.
vaccinated.
yeah, I don't
have
care
no
what
stance, and I
anyone
could care
does.
less.
Yeah,
I just
same.
don't want
No,
it pushed
you're
on
right.
me.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can relate to from because of what I do is like Djokovic.
Yeah.
He's missed out on 3 big Grand Slams. Although he's got a shit.
I
of money
love
where he is.
him, and I
But
was
love
so-
that
and I
he's
love
taking that
him.
stance. Says, you know what,
Yes.
I'm not playing, and it's like he doesn't need to, but he's sticking behind what he believes in.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, he should. I'm like, you let him do what he wants to do. It's
Yeah.
like that's
Leave him alone.
It's like if
Yeah.
he chooses not to, he's not losing out on anything. And if he is, I'm sure he's not losing sleep over it.
Right.
And Chris, I just want to commend you for someone who is vaccinated to be able to say that, because a lot of people don't get that.
Right.
It's the same people who are screaming "my body, my choice" when it comes to abortion. Were the same people who were not saying anything when it came to these mandates. As long with the LGBT community, I was disgusted by the fact that y'all can sit here and say I'm not getting treated right and people are trying to take my rights, but you said nothing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like Kanye West said, it's a lot of halfway movements.
All right, why'd you got to bring up Kanye? See, Kanye, I listen to whatever Kanye's got to say. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm just playing with you.
But yeah,
right.
Is he getting back together with Kim Kardashian?
I hope not.
Why not?
I love her. Let me say this so my fans can know. I love her as a woman for what she built and how she became an empire. Like, I love that about her.
Right.
But I've always been a big fan of Kanye. I don't care what no one says about him, even if sometimes I don't understand what the fuck
He's
saying.
talking
That's what I
about.
meant,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Confused.
but I know he's such a genius.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, I feel like he needs a more grounded woman to continue to build, and I just feel like Kim probably wasn't that. I feel like they had a business relationship, but I like for someone like him, he needs someone more grounded.
Right.
I feel like he's always had a thing for her, though.
Oh, totally. For
always-
each other. I feel like for each other
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
had.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's probably just one of those things, like it served its purpose, and
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
Well, all I got to say about it is, fuck you, Molly.
Yeah.
All I gotta say about
Fuck
that.
you,
Fuck
Molly.
Fuck you, Molly.
All right, so we're going to get into our episode topic today, and we're going to get into some more business with you
Yeah.
for sure. So the episode today is called The Dating Loophole. A
Okay.
loophole is a technicality or unclear set of rules that allows someone to avoid following the normal obligated guidelines. So in this case, we're going to be discussing the many loopholes of dating. For instance, gender bending, dating the same sex, anything to do with that. Dating labels, for instance. It's like, for instance, when someone says, well, we're not really boyfriend, girlfriend, we don't really know what we are right now, but it's like, there's no label on it, but yet someone thinks there's a label on it. These are these dating loopholes that people get out of things, and we're going to talk about all aspects of that. So with that being said, I had a conversation with you early in the car today.
Oh God. What did I say?
when we said, I was giving examples of things, I go, for instance, why, and we'll start with this one, and I always want to know this, by the way, not that I could give a shit or not, but why is it that a woman can date a woman and not be called gay, but if a guy dates a guy, he's considered gay? Why is that?
Well, it's
Let's
a
talk
lot of
about that.
double standards.
There's a ton of it. These are these loopholes.
Well, but I'm saying that you guys have for us, like the fact that you guys still make more money than us. So.
You girls probably will make more than me. And I'm happy about that.
But I'm saying in some industries, it still happens.
Of course.
It's still some double standards.
And there always will be that. And those hopefully, some of them are getting
Yeah.
changed. Some of them, not all of them, but there's a lot being changed.
I think too, when it comes to energy, feminine energy is just so different from masculine energy. It's always going to be seen as beautiful. But when you have two guys, I feel like because it's masculine energy, it's just a different type of view that people view, So I say naturally, we're going to always view it differently.
Right.
That's a great way to put it.
But it's written in time, though. I think that's probably, going off for what you're saying, is the fact that, think about it, like from day one, guys have always been with guys, probably somehow, some way. Like we see it in period pieces, we see it over the century, we see it in movie, whatever the hell it is. It's always been a thing. But
wait, guys have always been with guys?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the French, for instance. Excuse me, French, but like in French movies and things like that.
Or the Roman times.
Anytime, Romans, all of it. It's just like there's always this camaraderie of just likeness, just like men.
Are you talking about men sleeping with men?
Yes, men are sexual beings, by the way, and they don't give a fuck who they're sleeping with.
And
as long as they're just getting some sense of.
But even in the animal kingdom, not to cut you off, like the male lions, they will have sex with each other to bond with each other. They still do. They bond with each other.
I didn't know that.
And they don't have in the animal kingdom. They don't have labels. Like a lot of animals will engage in homosexual and bisexual things, but they will still carry on with their mates. So
speaking of lions, it's like how lions with polygamy and stuff, people shun against polygamy. It's like lions have about 10 lionesses, at least 3 or 4. It's
do?
like this is how they produce their heirs and stuff.
It's only 2 species in
that
the
are monogamous.
Kingdom. Yeah. So what
penguins?
The empire penguins. Yeah, the emperor penguins.
And so what makes us
and Jamie over here, she's the other one.
We're the same.
I am.
Yeah. It's very few of us, though, as human creatures who are going to be monogamous. It's just a societal, I would say, shines down on not being out there. But in reality, we all are. It's only a few of us human beings who are monogamous and who can be monogamous in real life. That's why you see a lot of divorce and a lot of unhappy.
Right.
Because a lot of us is not meant to be monogamous.
Right.
A lot of, I feel like we don't understand what loyalty means. Like, just because you can be loyal with someone and be trustworthy and build something, that doesn't mean that you have to own each other sexually.
Right.
Especially when you have that craving for other people. Do it safely, do it together, but you should have those discussions.
Right.
Because we are finding out what we thought was working doesn't work for the mass of our population. It does not work.
And this is from off of that note, a few of the swinger type couples we've had, or people who are actually that they're poly or whatever they are, polyamorous, they actually are exploring and at least speak to their mate, their partners now and say, this is what I want. And now it's up to the partner to either say, yeah, you know what, let's explore that, whatever, because not everyone, like you said, can be monogamous like that. So
that's why so many people cheat.
Yeah, this is true, because
it definitely warrants a conversation and you guys being on the same page. So I'm all about that, but I'm not okay with someone being sneaky.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's lay it on the table, and we all have the right to change our minds. So after 5 years, if it's not working, have the conversation.
Yeah.
And then that person has the right to say, yes, this is going to work for me, or no, it's not.
Right.
And that's where I think the whole respect and
100%.
loyalty really comes in.
100%. And we don't have those
So-
conversations, what you just said. I
Not
think
enough.
it should be those conversations. Because
I think a lot of people would be surprised too.
Yeah.
Well, why
as
do you
to
think
what
they
they
took
get.
out of, like, it just dawns on the whole. I know how you feel about marriage and stuff like that, which would be
Yeah.
another topic another day. But on the, what is it on the, when the person who gives them away, whoever not the, I don't want to say priest, but who the fuck just gives like people
The
away?
minister,
The
the
dad.
Thank you very much, Austin. Thank you. Thank
The
you.
what?
The minister or the
Oh.
ordained,
No,
someone
I
who's
thought-
cause, so what they say now is they don't say anymore until death do you part. They say for now love them and cherish until the end of whatever.
They
They've
do?
taken the love and death part of, I'm sorry, death till you part thing out of that whole situation now. Because people are like, we're not meant to be together until we die. I'm sorry.
Then what's the purpose of getting married?
well,
I
it's
think
a
that
union.
For the
I was gonna say-
insurance benefits?
I was gonna say.
Like,
I was
the
gonna say
discounts?
Taxes.
Because I was gonna say for me, I always grew up because I saw a lot of divorces. I've always viewed marriage as a business when it came to people. Like it's a business. You can love someone and be with them forever without getting married. I do not think marriage and love go hand in hand because there's a lot of unhappy people who are married.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think marriage is if you're really smart about how today's working, you actually think about your marriage as a business as well. Love that person first, but if you're thinking I want to marry them just because I love them, start thinking about the business aspects of it. Are they a
Well,
partner
this-
that
this
you want
is
to
why-
build with?
this
That's
is
what
why
I
they
say.
use
It's
the
a
word-
partnership,
right, but this
not
is-
an ownership.
But this is why they
Yeah.
use the word union, because if you want to strike, fucking strike, bitches, and sit on your ass and sit out there with that picket line, I'll strike any day. So that's why it's considered a union. You've like two people should come to an agreement on why they're being married or whatever it is. I agree with the fact that a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like they, girls especially because they want that fairy tale wedding or how they
Which
grew
is
up.
a lie.
Right. Well, most people, like you said, that's totally true. Most people have this imagery of what they want, and when it happens, like, oh, it really wasn't what I wanted. It's like, well, then fucking go a backbone, and you don't need that. Just be your own person and just talk to the person, or vice versa. There's always some spin in a lot of shit here. These are these loopholes we're talking about. If you understand what you really want, then it doesn't have to be always written out and written in stone, I guess, right?
I love what you said.
Thank
What
you.
you really want, because a lot of people don't know what they really want.
That's true.
And like you said, this fairy tale ending, a lot of people don't get like a happy ending is just
crash
a
and burn.
story that hasn't finished. You create your own world, your own life. I'm a testimony of that. You can create your own world and your own life. And like sitting there with a partner, you just really need to get to know each other. Because I'm with you, Jamie, when they say partnership, I'm all about partnership. I can go either way. I can be monogamous or I can go the other way. But it has to be, my only thing is I will have to have someone that I can fully trust if we're going to
Love
go
that.
the other way.
Yeah.
That I feel like you have integrity, you have morals, that we're not going to burn our house down.
Right.
Right.
That we're going to do it respectfully and you're not trying to fuck everything
And
you see,
these are
Yeah.
conversations that lead up to that, and most people
Yeah.
don't have those conversations. They might get a tenth of all
Which
those
is
things
so
you just
sad
said.
because
It's really
I
sad.
feel like at the end of the day, we just want to be ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't we want to be able
Yeah.
to share our authentic selves
Right.
with like a partner and know that they're going to have our back?
But some
Yeah.
people want, there's lots of different reasons. Some people want security. Some people want just someone to love me. Some people just want to
I
be in
want
just
all
a
that.
marriage. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But some people just want one of those. They're
Yeah.
happy with it. It's like, I just want someone to love me. It's like, get a dog.
How about
Get a
love
fucking
yourself?
dog.
Right. I was going to say those be the main people that don't love themselves. So you want someone to love you so you can feel love. That means you don't love yourself,
And
honey.
but
Learn how to love
Yeah.
yourself
exactly.
first.
But that's one of the aspects. Some people, I just want security. I don't care what the person looks like. I don't want security. It's like, well, be that bad at me as well. The other person might be thinking something different. So there's all these things that happen, and it sucks for sure.
Thank God that's why we're having these conversations now, because I feel like we are coming into an awareness and a consciousness that we're realizing a lot of stuff that did not work, and we're trying to figure out what's going to work for
Right.
us. And I feel like everyone needs to realize I'm an individual. What works for that person may not work for me.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is okay. So you, as an individual, have to do your own work to figure out what works for you,
That's
who
for
you
sure.
are, and what you want. And have your boundaries, and don't try to fit in someone else's world, because it's not gonna work. It
Right.
always ends badly. If you be, like you said, authentically yourself all the time, and that person is with you, then it can work. Then it's like you're not pretending to be this person for them.
Right.
Which
And
we
you're
all
growing
experience
together.
it.
You're growing together.
Yes.
Like you said, you know everything about that person, especially what you just said. Now that person that you said all those things about, that's someone you can grow with, and that's someone you can be with. You know,
Yeah.
that's the partnership right there. So,
Exactly.
yeah, not one person leading the pack and the other one just following like a little puppy all over. You know, I can't stand that
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
be your own person, people.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm ultimately
Right.
looking for,
So-
like someone to grow with.
I have a couple relationship questions for you.
Yes.
What about when you, because it's so weird when I look at you, I would never think that you were ever born male. Like I
you.
just see like feminine energy, like I see a female. When you first start dating someone, how long before you tell them, or do you think it's important that you tell them, or?
It's important that you tell them when it comes to being authentic, like we just said. It depends on that person how long I'm gonna tell them for. Like if we really have a connection, or if we've been busy, and I haven't really sat down and really felt your energy, you know? Because it's like I'm not gonna just tell a random person, like some people like you should just tell people, like no,
Like out the
Yeah.
gate,
Like,
your
do-
first date, are you like, hey, by the way?
Right. Do people tell me their intentions their first day?
Exactly.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
You know, they was like, oh, well, it's dangerous. Well, the world is fucking dangerous. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I like to date people and get to know them first and let them get to know me first.
Okay.
Before there any type of like sexual whatever happens, and if I like them, then yeah. But if not, there is no reason for me to tell you anything because I don't even like you as a person. And I'm coming across that more and more. And even back in the day when I have went out with guys and I didn't tell them anything, or if I had kissed a guy, I realized why. I didn't know how to communicate it then. The reason why I didn't end up with them because I didn't even like them as a person. I like
Yeah.
the idea of having them, but I
Right.
didn't
Right.
like them as a person.
Right. And you're still exploring just like we
Has-
all do as well. So there's no need at that point.
Has anyone ever came back and been like, you should have told me? I wish you would have told
I've
me.
had one person that said that. I won't mention their name, but the only reason why they said that, okay, so we hooked up. I hooked up with this person, and I know they showed their friends this video.
Ah,
And I told them do not show their friends this video.
that's just like, let's, yeah.
I know they did that. So it was shady on your part
Yeah.
for showing what we did, you know, and I know they did, you know, and I didn't tell them how I knew they did. So when they found out, they felt a little bit like, oh, you should have told me. And I wanted to say, well, you should have kept your fucking mouth shut because it was private. The reason why I didn't tell, I'm like, even if I wasn't trans, I've always would have still been private. It's nobody's business who I'm fucking and who I'm with, you know? So
Right.
keep your business to yourself so we can all keep our business to ourselves. So if it happened, no one would have known. It would have been a conversation with us. That was the only reason why that person I felt that way. Everyone else, anyone else that I have dealt with in the past, if I hooked up or whatever, it wasn't a lot of people, but I have hooked up with another person and then they found out later or whatever. No, it was all good.
See,
you
that's
know?
great.
So
Yeah.
Chris and I had this conversation, not really like I was seeing someone and I was like, he should have told me that he did porn. But he made a good point, and I actually agree with you. And he was like, well, you're just getting to know him, and it's true. Like
Yeah.
right out the bat, we don't tell our like deepest, darkest secrets because we don't know if you're going to be around in
That's
like 6
true.
months to
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
So we kind of save those conversations for someone that maybe has potential in a long term.
And that's exactly, yeah.
Especially when it
So-
comes to like, just frankly, let's go deeper with the dating now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just meeting someone, but like, you know, but the dating aspect of it, it's really that thing of you're both just getting to know each other. This person's here, you're here.
Yeah.
You both seem to enjoy each other's company, but if you start off the gates like, hey, this is me, then now they have this like perception of you. Now they have this stereotype
Always.
of you.
And
Exactly.
I
It's not fair.
would. So if I would have known that like straight out the gate, I probably wouldn't have entertained it as long
Yeah.
as I did.
Yeah.
But after I really got to know him, then it was a conversation I kind of had to have with myself. Like, is this going to align with me? Am I okay with it? So
Right.
And did y'all end up being friends still?
No, they dated. They dated for
Yeah.
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So
exactly.
even after he told me, it was just something that I had to like sit with and figure out if I was going to be okay with it moving forward. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
but
a
there
lot of
are
time-
other
yeah.
things, but
Of course. And
Right. I
that
was going to say, it's always other
Right.
things.
Yeah.
that was the ultimate demise. It was the other things more than
than that.
aspect.
Yeah. I
she had
think
gotten
that I
over
would
that.
have I would have been able to get past that.
Yeah.
It's like someone saying on the conversation on a not, it's kind of similar where if someone, we talked about this, if she was dating someone, let's say for a while, and all of a sudden, I don't want you to do like your lingerie modeling more. I want you to stop that. And it's like, that's how you met me. That's how I was doing this when we started dating. Now it's all of a sudden you don't want me to do anymore because they're holding off on certain aspects of things where they're trying to now it's like it bothers them in theory, but they're just presenting it later. For some reason where you're like, well, you were dating her while she was doing it. What's the big change now all of a sudden? That's being hypocritical
Yeah.
as well.
See, go ahead.
You shouldn't have sought me out then. Why
Yep.
did you
Yeah.
date me for like 6 months? And
Right.
now all of a sudden you have a problem with it?
Yep. I
So
don't agree
I
with
had
that.
one of my fiancés. After later, we dated for a while. He's from Europe, and then I told him later about me, and then I started stripping because I'm like I needed a way to fund my career in LA because I'm like I knew no other way. I'm like, how can I make this fast money? I was already doing Playboy. I'm like, well, I'm used to being nude in front of people.
Yeah.
She's like, next level, please.
So I started stripping, and that was one of our problems. What you guys were just saying, it was the other things that broke us up. Like, you knew that I was dancing. You was okay with me telling you that I was trans, but it was the stripping thing that bothered you. But you knew that before the whole engagement, before I was talking about moving, you knew that. So why all of a sudden you feel insecure now with that?
Right.
Because there's other things.
Yeah.
I that's what I think.
Those insecurities are always there. It's like how you even said, I don't think that if you were continue dating this guy who did porn, do you feel like that still would have been an issue in the relationship? Right. So it still would have been an issue in theory. In the back of your mind.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've kind of moved on from
Right,
so I don't even want to give him
yeah.
any thoughts or energy.
Fuck you, Molly.
Fuck you, Molly.
Call him Molly, okay?
But yeah, I just
Yeah. I mean, it's like on all aspects, the thing that I always say, and I tell everyone this, I go, and trust me, I've been with a lot of girls who've had different sort of views and things.
Yeah.
And I was this. I'm like, really? And I go, okay. So my theory is like, your past is your past.
Yeah.
I'm starting with you now. I can't judge you for what you've done back then because I like who you are now. So why am I going to change my point of view just because you told me that
and
like
that
a
was
month
kind
later?
of the way that I thought about it.
Yeah.
Like I like the space that you're in now.
Right.
So clearly we have a connection, and that's what I was like willing and open to exploring. And I wasn't. I mean, we all have fucking pasts.
We all do.
Right.
So I don't want to be judged on my past, so I'm not trying to pass judgment on someone else's. I just knew like moving forward, it would be a discussion that would have to come up when I do like my press appearances and stuff like that. Someone's going to dig it up. So was I going to be okay defending that and having his back?
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with that. I agree 100%. We all have our past.
Yeah.
And if that person have grown from their past and they become a better person, then why would you judge someone on their past?
Yeah.
But I like what you said about it's other things.
Right.
That sometimes if a person have not done the work
Which they don't.
to grow. A lot of people do not. Because to be honest, I actually got to say, I do a lot of work on myself. And it's hard work. You really have to put in the work.
It is a lot of hard
To
work.
grow and become a better human being. It's a lot of hard work because you have so many things around you, so I commend us people who do the work, and I now don't judge people when I see people who still do shitty things, or I see people who are still doing the same thing. Like even one of my ex that lives out here, I think I told you about him.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't
right.
even tell him that I was out here.
good.
Fuck that guy.
Molly.
Fuck you, Molly. Yeah. And he was an ex-UFC fighter. But we had a conversation recently before I came out here. And I'm like, dude, you're still the same. But a part of me was like, even though I was saying you're still the same person, it turned me off from him. But I no longer had that judgment heart. I wasn't judging him. Because I looked at him in a way as, okay, I'm a human, just like you're a human. We're all trying to figure it out. And you haven't figured it out yet. So I'm not going to judge you, even though I don't want to be around you
Which
or
means that
date
you've had growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Your
have
own
personal
growth, but I
right.
won't judge you.
She's
Yeah,
in a
that's
space
good.
of indifference, and I always
Yeah.
say when you're indifferent, it's literally the best space you can be in because you
Totally.
don't care one way or the other.
I don't. Yeah,
Right.
that's
It's like,
like
you can love it, take it, don't take it. It just is.
yeah, it's no good and bad. It just is. That's your life.
But
you know?
underneath it all, with this person, because I've had something similar with a friend of mine that I just recently saw and felt the same way, like, God, you just haven't changed. And you just hope and want them to be at a different place in their life, like how you feel like as we all grow or hope to
Yeah.
grow, you hope that that person that you kind of, like the guy you're talking about,
Yeah.
if he just had an inkling of growth, you might have been like, it would have made you feel probably a little bit better and happier
Yeah, just
in that
the
aspect.
inch.
Yeah.
And that's all. I feel like that's all we have to do
Yeah.
is just grow
A
little
little at a
by
time.
little.
We can't do it all fast.
But
A
it
little bit.
has to be a progression. It has to be something that we can see.
And I was going to say,
that
you
you're
would
trying.
know. You would definitely know.
Oh, I
for
would
sure.
totally know for sure. And I noticed it was none. So I was like, you're not even. I respect someone who tries. Like I try. So that's why I love myself even more so now. It's like I try and do the work. So when I see people who try to do the work, you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. But if I can see that you're trying, it's different.
Yeah.
But some people are out here not even trying.
Yeah.
You know?
You've given up before the fight even started.
Right.
Those are the ones we just continue just to pass by.
We
that
just
call
got to say, you
passing
know
by.
what? I'm going to love you from afar.
Yeah.
Right.
And they all have a part in our lives. That's the crazy
Yeah.
part. We all have, there's a part in our lives, a point in our lives, that we all have someone like that or people or group, whatever it is.
Yeah,
like
we
whether
see
it be
them
an
here
ex,
and
whether
there,
it be whatever.
and you just be like, you know what? I just accept you for you now.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. All right, well, you got a lot of dating loopholes, Miss Thing. I know.
What do you
for a
mean
fact.
dating
loopholes? You go out a lot with a lot of guys, which I mean, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like you're exploring potential dating
I
mates.
date.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
the
go
best
on
way.
dates.
Austin, she's dating.
I'm open to
okay?
dating.
Austin's like
Okay.
shocked that you're dating over there. Yeah, you're dating. So when you're meeting people and talking with people, how much do you feel like when you're ready to share with someone, for instance? Let's say you're going out with like dating two guys just to kind of explore people on dating apps, for instance, right? You're going out with a few people in maybe 2 weeks time. So
Yeah.
everyone wants to put their best foot forward. Everyone starts learning only to share certain things of their life.
Yeah.
But how much for you especially do you feel like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable enough to pursue this person and share a little bit more? Or
I think I'm like pretty comfortable like off the bat with
Okay.
like who I am. I'm very comfortable in my space, but I mean, it takes me a while to even like meet up with someone in person. Like I feel like I'm doing an interview process, text, then I want to
Totally.
talk,
Okay.
then I want to FaceTime. I want to make sure you look like the photos that I'm seeing of you before I give my time in that way to show up somewhere.
Okay.
So it's
So it's a
definitely
commitment on
a
their
Smart.
process.
Right.
It's
Process, yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Like you have to. It's an investigation.
Yeah.
I call it. I got to investigate.
Gosh,
Okay.
yeah. I
Well,
wanna-
with doing
I wanna
that,
be
by the way, guys,
sure.
if you do that as well, Jasmine,
I
it's that,
do.
so it's that thing. Then you're also what's the word I'm looking for? Weeding out the guys who are maybe
Yes.
just surface and just like through that process, because it takes a while. I guess if you're taking that long,
Yeah, like-
most guys will start falling because they're like, oh god, yeah, I just wanted to meet her, and so I can't go through all the sex shit, and they
Yep.
start falling off.
Yeah.
I'd say like a couple months before I'm even, at least a month before I'm meeting up with you.
Okay. Okay.
And then I don't know, like, are we? So yeah, that's one whole thing. Like, do our lives align? Like, I travel a lot. Do you have the flexibility to be present with me during that? And then the energy is a completely other thing. So we could connect like over the phone, like text, and then I meet up with them in person, and something's just off. So I've
Doesn't
had
it
friends ask like, he is so perfect. What is it? And you can't explain it. It's an energy thing. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I just don't think that we align.
It
He's a
sucks.
great guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's just not the guy for me.
Okay. All right. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay,
And
so
that's-
when
I
does-
feel
so
like I'm
when
in
does
that
one-
same position?
And now I'm just like, I'm not dating.
Got it.
I'm not like after this. I'm just
All right.
I'm focused on myself,
which
my
everybody needs
girlfriends,
that
my
time.
travels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
Yeah.
feel the same way right now as well?
I do, because I agree with you 100%. I thought it was just me. It's like I meet these people in person and it's like, Jesus Christ. Like the energy is so off because I can't feel it through the phone. I can't feel it through the app. I'm on one of the apps called Rhea.
I know Rhea.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about that. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so it's hard. You cannot feel anyone's energy through an app. you
And
know?
people are so good at like
Disguising
saying
or
shit.
saying the right things.
Totally.
And I'm like, ooh, like they must have
They
done
say
their
all the right
homework, and you're
things,
like,
you know?
wow,
Yeah.
this is
But that's why I
good.
feel like meeting a person where we've had some guests on here say, I just like getting right to business. Once we match up, I want to meet them right away, because not only does it throw that other person off their normal spiel and their game.
Yeah.
Like you said, you get to meet them right away, and that hopefully that authenticity will come out right away. So they don't have this game plan already when they meet you, or these lines
My
on the text.
time's
and
way too valuable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think that everyone deserves access to that.
Right. Well,
I love that.
Yeah.
Totally.
see why she's a badass over here?
I totally love that. Yeah, I agree. So now I'm just into like if I randomly meet people.
Yes.
And if
Which
it's
is, should
organically.
be that way anyways, though. Why can't we just get back? And that's one thing why I'm not a big dating, not that I need it anymore, but a big dating app person, because
I'm not on any of the dating apps.
Yeah,
I've
you're
heard
not.
of
This
I've
is
heard
true.
of Raya,
Yeah.
and I have a few of my celebrity friends that are on it that have recommended it. But maybe one day I'll try it out. But I haven't dicked around with
Right.
any of them.
It's okay. And that's the only reason why I got on there, because of me being in this new industry. Like trying to figure out, like, meet people of a certain status now. It's kind of hard. It's like not dating back in the day, because I got to figure out, like, if this person knows me, if they dated me
that's
because
true.
I was on the
Yeah, I
show.
didn't think about that.
And now it's like, oh God, dating has become so complicated.
Well, especially now that they can just jump on and just look you up on Google or social media. It's a big game changer.
Everyone
now.
can just Google
Yeah.
you now, and it's like, it sucks, you know?
I didn't realize that.
So
for both you
I
girls.
will say this, like, I went out with a guy, and we never, when we go out, you're never like, oh, do you know me? Like, it's not something you would ask, but he pretended that he'd not know,
Didn't know you were,
and I
yeah.
believed him. And then I found out down the road that he had 2 Instagram accounts. And when I found out what the second account was, I looked at it and hit message to message him, and he was in my DMs. So
Oh,
he fucking
interesting.
lied, and he
Okay.
did know who I
See,
was.
Right.
that is why
So I'm like-
I just be on,
Right.
like...
unless he was too oblivious and was doing that to many
No,
other girls
they
and just forgot.
know.
Okay.
They know.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he
Right.
fucking knows.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Sly
right.
guy.
Sly
Right.
guy.
You
Who's
caught
that
him.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
snake
I
in the
was
grass.
like,
Right.
you're a wolf in
Yes.
sheep's clothing. So,
Oh my God, that's funny as shit. But you get a lot of that, though, I'm sure.
I mean, that's how a lot of the guys that I dated, they have like slid in my DM.
Right.
But
It's normal.
it's been like quality. Like Taylor is amazing. He's an
Yeah.
actor. And my time with him was great.
Right. But you suss it out well. That's the other half of it. You can weed out all the people just doing it just because, and then the ones who are really genuinely wanting
Well,
to.
now I have someone that like
Okay,
manages it
that's
for
great.
me, and
I need one of
so,
those.
yeah.
I don't get anything on mine, but I need one of those.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming, trust
Yeah,
me.
I'm
The
sure it
DMs
is.
can be,
Yeah. I just like the out, just going out, meeting people the old-fashioned way, because that's where I feel like you can
Yeah.
read a person. That's where I feel like I shine the best, and that's where I feel like I can pick up your energy if I really want to meet this
But
person.
where are
Even-
you going out to meet
I was going to
people?
ask that.
I mean, I go to the grocery store and meet
Like,
people.
okay, but
anywhere.
I don't even grocery shop
Yeah.
though. My groceries are delivered to my house.
Right. Well, maybe the delivery. I'm kidding.
And I don't think I want to meet someone at the grocery store because I'm not grocery shopping. So I almost feel like the people.
I'm not
that-
saying
you know what I
exactly the
mean?
grocery
I
store
met
for
one
me, but
person at Air One. I
Okay.
actually can say
Yeah.
at Air One, but it was in Malibu, and they didn't live here. So
Right.
I was like,
I
fuck.
feel like you can meet a person anywhere. If someone
I mean,
passes
you can, yeah.
and all of a sudden you just feel that whoa energy, and like the line. I've never come up and said this to anyone before, but I have to say this. I'm sure, and it is a line, but I've done it a few times where I'm just like, wow, I just got to go up to this person and tell them I think they're gorgeous or something like that. And not, nothing more than that. But that's how people meet. It's just sometimes it's just the energy, everything aligns at the right time.
Yeah.
When I'm out and
Yeah.
about all the time, like this past Saturday at one of the events I was at, I mean, I talk to a lot of fucking people, and there's a lot of fucking girls that are just that I look at and go, okay, you're looking at me like a piece of meat right now. I need to kind of keep walking, keep moving along, and it happens. But, and you suss out the ones, the same energy that you girls probably get as well. When the guy's talking, you can see that they're salivating and things like that as well. And like, all right, I need to just keep moving along. But you
Yeah.
also can pick out the genuine people that you talk to and have a really good conversation with, that they're being true and genuine. Like, I kind of like this person. So it happens. It could be anywhere.
But that's I'm with her. Like, where are you going? Because that's kind of rare. I haven't found that yet.
I'm just saying back like how before dating apps came out,
Okay,
that's how
yeah.
it happened. I'm not
Right.
saying so
Yeah.
we all know how it used to happen. I'm
But
saying it's just easier now with apps, and I never thought that I really needed to be on a dating app to actually find the person I need to be with. in theory. You know, yes, I got in it for a moment after I was, out of my separation, or just to kind of, because I didn't know my net worth anymore. I was like, Chris's net worth is what now? I'm like, I felt like Bitcoin. Like, I was like, fuck, I was like 100 grand. Now I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm back to 2. I don't know. But I went out on 2 dates, and the second one I realized, all right, I'm back to that 100 grand again. I didn't lose anything, but I had just been out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
That's all. So, but I still feel like organic meetings, wherever you go, I feel like it's still the best way, because you're face to face with someone. You're having a conversation. And by the way, they don't have any stock answers on their phone, or whatever. I'm sure you both have spoken to someone where it's like you text them, all of a sudden you get text, you're in a text of like maybe a minute. Next thing you know, the next text is like 5-minute passing. You're like, what's this fucking person doing? He's talking to 3 other people right now, or whatever. You make those things up in your mind, or whatever it is. So,
but I agree. I feel like
it's a game. It's a
the next
game.
time it's organic. I want to meet someone out just randomly. And I've been finding, but the people that I've been meeting lately has been Europeans, which I love Europeans, but they don't live here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then you need that's a double-edged sword for you, then, Jazz. You got to go over there then a little bit more. So, got to get her back. So, all right. Well, what else are we gonna do on this one?
Okay, I want to know. So, when you were younger, were you ever attracted to females, or were you always attracted to males? Has it switched for you?
I've always been attracted to males.
Okay.
Always. I've always viewed other feminine energy women as just beautiful, you know, because women are beautiful.
Yes.
But I never had a sexual attraction. I can be in a room full of girls and there's no sexual attraction. It's more so just I'm there.
Right. You just appreciate.
Yeah, I appreciate. But I've had threesomes with like one of my boyfriends before, and I told him like, I'm doing this for you, dude. Like, it's not for me. Like it's more so fun. I'm having fun, but I'm not getting no sexual kick at all, and I love that I knew that about myself.
Right.
I love that
there
too.
There was no confusion whatsoever.
So you knew.
I knew 100%.
You always knew.
I knew 100%. I'm just very comfortable with my body. So when I've had a threesome, it was like, I'm comfortable with my body, and so I'm like,
And how long did you wait until you actually had the change?
It was 20. I had it very early.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your parents were supportive?
Yeah. Well, my dad was not in the picture, but my mom was, you know, and it was on Mother's Day. She was the first person I called because I was crying because I was like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain because the pain pills they had was not working and I should have brought my own pain pills.
How long does the surgery take?
Well, not
and
just
do
the
you
surgery, but
have
it's the process before you even get the surgery.
Well, yeah, you have to go on the hormones.
Well, I've been on hormones way before.
Okay.
So the process was I went to Thailand, which was one of the best places to go. And
by the way, I will say I've been to Thailand and the freaking women there are so freaking beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. So when I was over there, like I said, the surgery's on Mother's Day, and it was so funny because I didn't realize how blood smelled coming out of your vagina. I was horrified. I called my mom crying, like, I hate the way I smell. She's like, bitch, welcome to womanhood. She had a little joke.
So you have a period?
No, I don't have a period.
Oh, okay.
But for 3 months, I bled. I had to walk around with a tampon, which was so new and foreign to me. The funny story that happened to me one day on my way back to America, the second month, because I stayed over there for a month and a half. I came back to America and I'm in line talking to this cute black and German guy. He was so sexy. This lady tapped me on my shoulder. I did not know back in the day you shouldn't wear white if you're wearing a pad.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, honey, you're I think you're bleeding. I said, that's why I have these. And he started laughing, the guy. But yeah, the process was, I would say, even though for me it was painful, I would do it 10 times if I had to do it all over again. The results of it, the fact that I'm more sexually comfortable with myself. Great. I feel like women have the best orgasms, and I know.
So you orgasm?
I do, girl. Girl.
Yeah.
Women, I am truly blessed because I heard horror stories, but my guides were over there with me.
Right.
I was very protected. My spiritual guides have been with me through this whole process because I've heard so many stories and I'm like, wow, I got truly blessed because I know I'm mentally strong, but I'm a sexual creature. I don't think I mentally could have made it if my orgasm was shut off.
Okay.
You know, because the orgasms that I have now is so different. You know,
Right.
I feel like it's more spiritual. I feel it through my whole body. It's just like no match. Like I feel like women have the best orgasms.
That's great. Well,
Well, she knows what
I love
Yeah.
when women have
Yeah,
orgasms. I'm not denying that. I love when a woman has a good orgasm.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Can you have multiple orgasms?
Yes.
Okay.
I have had them before, and it's like they're kind of, for me, I felt they were kind of draining because after you start doing it a few times, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
You're
I'm exhausted after one.
right. Like you're done, but it takes time. It's still harder for me, like women. It still takes me a little bit more time to like have an orgasm now, but when I do have them, they're so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like complete, and I can't even explain it. I'm just happy.
Good.
Good. That's all that really matters.
Doesn't she have amazing energy?
Yes,
Yeah, it's amazing,
so
right?
much so.
Thank you
Amazing
guys
energy.
as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
it's been a great journey for me. It's been a great journey for me in that part. Everything else that I've experienced is like real life shit. I'm like, oh, I guess I forgot that I was still gonna have to go through this
Yeah.
real life experience. But other than that, like being a girl is fun.
I was gonna say, but you're whole now, you know.
So I
You're
feel
whole.
so whole. I feel so complete. I just feel like, you know, like even like I said, the doctors when they told my mom I was a girl, I just feel like everything. I think it was meant for me to be born one way,
Okay.
to go through this whole journey, to appreciate the womanhood that I have now, because I do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted
That's
at
amazing.
all. You know.
Do you have anything out there that you would tell someone going through
Yeah,
this
like any
process, or
advice?
anyone who's like, you know, trying to figure it out? What would you say?
I would tell people, make sure this, first of all, this is what you want to do. Because I feel like a lot of people, I mean, the trans phenomena and the non-binary, which I still trying to wrap my head around, I feel like so many people are confused. So many people are being groomed. So many people are searching for answers. So that's why I said I was so blessed that I had no one around me, no one trying to tell me to do this and that. I feel like a lot of people probably are not even trans. A lot of people are not even non-binary. A lot of people just want to be, they want to be something.
Okay.
So I would say find out truly who you are, what you want to be. You know, don't let no one else, whatever group, no parents tell you what you should and should not be. Take the time to figure out what you want to be.
Yeah.
And please, for God's sakes, do not have surgery when you're young. Wait.
How old do you think they should be before they're having these
I
surgeries?
say at least 18 to 20.
Okay.
Wait through you go through. I say wait, because, you know, you can't go back.
Right, and they might change their mind.
You
and
might
just,
change your
love
mind.
them.
Kids
Right.
change their
Mhm.
mind a lot.
Yep.
You should wait. You should wait. Figure out this is what you want to do. Take the time for you. Do some holistic counseling and therapy. Don't go to a psychologist who want to give you drugs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
some holistic therapy. Get in line with yourself. Seek a community that's open, that's not trying to groom you to do one thing or another, you know? But I think it's up to you as the individual to do the work for yourself. And
Right.
hopefully you have parents that actually want to be a
Support you.
facilitator, that just want to support you. Not going to tell you neither, you know, this is you, this is not. But I feel like we're giving kids drugs, hormones way too young. And they're
Agreed.
doing surgeries way too young, and they don't understand the repercussions. I'm glad I did it at my age, because it's a lot to it. You
Yeah.
know, it changes you a lot. So that would be my advice for all the young people out there. I have a song that I'm writing called Take Your Time. Take your time. Take your time. If
Love
it's
that.
meant to be, it'll be. But take your time. Live life, explore, do many things, find out, explore so many things before you
And there's
make
nothing
that.
wrong with that, people. What you're saying, take your time, that goes, I feel like that's across the board for everyone. You know,
Everyone.
like exploration and taking your time, because
Yeah.
we change our minds like from this to that a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that,
There's
but just
nothing
make sure that
wrong.
you're sure.
Yeah.
But just, you know, ask the right questions, for sure. Ask the right questions, do your research, and just take your time. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I like
All right.
that.
I think it's time.
When you're in Thailand, is there a certain age that they require you to be?
I think
for
you
the
had to
surgery?
be 21.
Okay.
I think you had to
I
be.
think 21 is like a good age.
I think
I
so,
mean, you can't
too.
even buy alcohol until you're 21. Like
Well,
there's
here.
certain restrictions. That's true. Like
Yeah.
in Europe,
Mhm.
18. But I just feel like looking back at my younger self, like we just don't know.
I
So
didn't
give
know
it
shit.
give it the time.
I didn't
what?
know shit back in my younger
But we
self.
think we know it all.
Oh, we think we know everything.
Right.
But I didn't
Yeah.
know anything. That's why I'm grateful that I waited. Because, even sexual, I feel like you mature sexually when you get older. So, you're not missing out on anything. So
Exactly.
Yeah, it just gets better.
That is for sure.
Exactly.
That is for sure.
Yeah. Are we doing
We're going to give you the question today.
Oh,
And Jamie's going to
yes.
actually read this one.
I
Jamie.
am.
I'm excited
Please.
about.
Woo!
Drum roll.
Okay. So our question today is, why do I keep attracting the same man in different bodies? They
Oh.
always seem to be different at the start, and then eventually all become the same person in the end.
Okay. So,
She's on top of this one.
yeah, I've had experience with that. Mine was actually tragic. So I think I told you, Christopher, in the past, I attracted the same guy. I had a fiance that passed away from a heroin overdose. If he was not, I would have been married to him to today. We still would have been married. I would have been monogamous with him if he chose that. I would have still been with him. My other one, Matt, in 2018, he passed away from a drug. It was a
Okay.
synthetic. He wasn't addicted to drugs. He was in the music industry. Someone gave him some bad stuff. But when I look at both of them, they were both tall, both had a European look, dark features, dark hair. They were white, handsome guys. Both, if you looked at them, you would have thought okay, you have a type, girl.
Yeah.
It's your energy. You're attracting that. And I know for sure now because I was still attracting the same people. I was attracting the same guys. They were just in different bodies. It's the work that you have to do. Start setting boundaries with yourself, figuring out what was working for you and what wasn't working for you. And what's your triggers? What are you really looking for? What are you asking for? Start asking yourself all these questions. What are you putting out in the universe? Because you're putting this stuff out, so it's coming back to you.
True.
I agree.
And so that's all the work you have to do. And some people, it's exhausting. Well, if you don't want to attract the same person, you're going to have to do that. Because if that same person is not working for you, it's not them, it's you.
Yeah. That's
We're
very
all
true.
on a vibration and frequency, and you
Yeah.
get what you give. So whatever
Similarities.
you're putting out, you're gonna receive back. So I agree with you. She's got to change some things within herself so she can attract a higher level.
A higher level,
Right.
a lot higher conscious type of person. I haven't attract that person anymore. I attract different type of people now.
Okay.
Because I've been doing the work and it's amazing. And when I run across that person, when I'm out randomly and I just happen to run a conversation with them, nothing about them is attractive. I'm not attractive to their life. I'm not attracted to the bad boys. I'm not attracted to someone who's into drugs or something like that. It's just, my whole frequency, my energy field is so different now. My whole aura is different. I can't possibly look at that the same.
What's one thing that you've done to do the work within yourself?
I start connecting with source, whatever that means for other people, God, source, angels, start connecting with my ancestors more, start trying to figure out okay, I know I'm a ball of consciousness. So I know that energy is real, regardless of what you believe in. We all know that energy is real.
Yes.
Manifestation is real. So what am I putting into my conscious and my subconscious that's radiating, that's attracting all these things into my life? Self-worth.
Yeah. That's true.
I like it.
You summed this one up really well.
Yeah.
So, wow, well done.
And that's
Take you out and put her
I know.
in the chair.
Take my chair. Yeah, this is a good one.
But
right there.
self-worth, before we leave, I want to say is not a one-time thing. That is you're going to work through that the rest of your life.
No, of course you
Continuous.
are, because
it's
Yeah.
a practice.
Mhm,
It's
it
a
is.
practice.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier. It's just always ever changing, but
Yeah.
we're always ever changing as well.
Yeah,
So
and your boundaries
yeah.
are always ever-changing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I believe, obviously, off of that too. I always wonder if sometimes age has something to do with that as well.
Oh, totally.
We all have
for some of us.
Right, true. But we all put in this we have this molded type of what we want, and I feel like once we get whiff of that, it's it seems to happen in triplets
you just
or whatever
say
it is. Fuck you, Molly. Yeah, I did. So, but we all have this trend, this thing where it's it's just this part of our life that just happens that way. But then hopefully you grow out of it, and it is a
Yeah.
growth as well. Because like you said, if we're not with that type of person again, you've grown enough to say, okay, we can still have the same type per se, but just a different. I'm going to say, it's different area code.
They're different energies.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
different. Yeah.
Right.
I got hoes.
Yeah.
I got hoes.
Austin's back here. Austin, what do you say on this one?
What do I
agree
say?
with
Yeah,
Jamie.
are you a guys? Our producer, we have Austin today as our producer today.
Sorry,
so.
I wasn't paying. I was like cutting, so I wasn't paying attention.
Do you have a
Not
type
paying
that
attention
have you
to our
seemed
show.
have you seemed to attract a certain type, in your life as far as dating and stuff all the time?
I'm not gonna lie. So I've been in a relationship going on almost 8 years.
Oh my
nice.
god.
Congratulations.
It's- he's
Rare,
locked it down.
rare.
It's basically like marriage because we have a kid. We have a 4-year-old.
Oh.
But I seem to attract daddy issues.
Okay.
I'm not even lying. The last
I've
three
had
girls,
them, so.
the last like 3 girls I had serious relationships with, all had like problems with their dad.
Okay. By the way, that's another thing too, though. Not only like that goes a part of this whole situation when we attack a certain type. That's like it doesn't have to be just physical people. It could be like emotional. It could be a type of like he said. Some people just want to be like a caregiver. They want to take care of you, and they find those wounded duck theories, or something like that. Some
Yeah.
people want, I just want the high powered whatever.
I was a
That's-
fixer.
Yeah. Okay. You were a fixer.
I wanted to fix it. Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to fix people. So yeah.
Yeah. There's different ways, man. I'm telling you. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm a spoiler. Like I feel like I always spoil my guys.
Right. But
Yeah.
then you always somebody like that, like yourself, goes, I want to be taken care of now. We get in all that tantrum all of a sudden. Like,
I
It's
mean,
a balance. It's a balance.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
I don't know
balance.
if I want to get taken care of, but I mean maybe in some aspects.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely taken care of, but you
Yeah.
want someone of your equal to where you guys
I
kind of
definitely
like,
would like an equal.
That's all
like
I meant by
because
that. Not that
usually
you wanted
I'm
that.
yeah.
Right. That's what I meant by that for you. Like you don't want some take. You just wanted someone who's of your equal, so you don't have to worry about the other person so
Right.
much anymore. So.
Oh God, yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to end. Jasmine, by the way, thank you so much today. I'm so
Yes.
finally glad to have you on the show, and I love you
Yes.
immensely. I was telling Jimmy, I go,
And thank you,
Jasmine's coming on the show. I'm
Jamie.
so excited.
I'm
I love
so
her to death.
excited, yeah.
All right. Well, what do we have to plug right now? I know plug some. You have some new music coming out, so please plug that to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm directing my own videos now. I just directed Love Me Too and Got Me, which will be out soon. So yeah, my artist name is Jazzy, Jazzy. So I'm super excited for my music. I'm back in the studio soon. I'll be in Miami. So I'll be producing new stuff and trying to really pursue it and take it serious. And everyone can follow me on Instagram at the Jasmine Davis.
At the Jasmine
love
Davis,
it.
people,
Yeah.
and I was in like her last music video.
Oh
so
yeah,
I'm super
Chris was
excited about
in,
that.
yes. It was
Yeah.
so fun. He did a great, oh my God, you did a
Thank you
great
very
job.
much, honey. She goes, I want you to argue. I go, I can argue like that. So I'm sitting at the table just throwing off, and then Jasmine's like, damn, that was real.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. And then what do you have to plug this day?
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Alani New for all of our seltzers.
Alani.
And our amazing energy drinks that they send us.
Sounds great. All right, guys. And you can follow us at Dating Intelligence, anything on social media. Please check out our YouTube page and please subscribe, guys. The
Yes.
show is like blowing up, and we're having a blast with guests like Jasmine on. We have a lot of great guests on and just a lot of fun all the times, you can tell. So also follow me at Fetch Sport, also social media. And that is it for us today. We are Austin. Thank you very much. We're out, guys.
Awesome.